Howdly doodly do. Welcome everyone to the fashionably late review of Lake. We are always fashionably late, but we have some words about games. I am your host for this episode, David Mark Moody, the glorious one, sometimes the shouty one, and joining me as always is my fabulous co-host, the one who geeked out yesterday for geekiness, the glorious Amy Kate Alexander. Yes, I know I said yesterday, but this might not come out Monday. But either way,
challenge accepted. I'm good. I didn't geek out yesterday. I bought a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about it on Thursday. I'm gonna have a whole thing on the podcast where I'm like, look at all this cool shit.
The whole thing.
You can see one thing behind me.
Yes, you can. It rotates in lighting, ladies and gentlemen. And my background hasn't changed. I've still got a tree. And I've still got some flowers. I've got the Beatles album in the background.
Planty.
You can see a face of a Bulbasaur. And you don't want to see the rest.
No.
And there's a TV.
Should we talk about Lake?
And there's a door.
Since,
with some spaceships.
It's playing and everything. Like
I need to like get this closer so you can see the
This is what the podcast is for. This is a review of a game. Come on.
But we want them to enjoy our
Let them
banter,
enjoy us talking about the bantering about an amazing game.
But they want to see how genuine we are.
I'm just going to cut this out now.
No, don't do this. The force will not allow this. Yes, everybody, we are here to talk about Lake. The general information over from OpenCritic.com. So I hope it's right because sometimes it isn't right, but whatever. Available on PC, Xbox, the Xboxes, and the PlayStation. No, and the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't like PlayStation.
It's not
Lake
out on Switch.
does not like PlayStation. What?
It's not out on Switch.
Well, that's what general information is. See, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. I badly need you to get general information from another site.
Okay. It came out September 1st, 2021. I hope that is actually right.
That's right.
The developer is Gamos, publisher Whitethorn Digital, and the genre is apparently adventure. The description is, it's September 1st, 1986. I would literally only be a month old, ladies and gentlemen, in real life. You take on the role as the 40-something Meredith Weiss, who returns from the big city to her quiet hometown. She exchanged her busy career as a software company, to fill in for her dad, the local mail carrier. During her 2-week stay in beautiful Providence Oaks, Oregon, she runs into a few familiar faces as well as plenty new folk. As Meredith, you get to decide who to talk to, who to befriend, and who perhaps to even start a romantic relationship with. Amy,
I just want to say it's really funny that adventure has become like the thing that they say when they're like, well, shit, we don't have a genre for this. What should we call it? We should call it an adventure game.
You kind of go on an adventure. Kind of.
Yes, but
kind of.
Stretch the
But
definition.
anyway, Amy, this is arguably your most anticipated game for the rest of this year. Since whenever your most anticipated game came out, I can't remember what that was.
Neither do I. Hollow Knight.
You have been shouting from the rooftops about this game, even after you played its demo after E3. Did this game live up to the hype for you?
Yeah, of course it did.
Okay, end the review. Thank you very much. Rate us 5-star on iTunes and everything else. Bye. Only joking. I'm stuck now.
You're stuck. You're expecting me to say more.
Yes. So, Amy, you've obviously played the demo of this. You really enjoyed what you talked about. Like, say, you've been shouting from the rooftops. I'll give a quick thought of what I thought of Lake. I very much enjoyed this game. I'll say this. Very much enjoyed this game. I loved it when I got a shotgun and killed everyone in the end and everything. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, yeah,
I love that little... I'm joking there. No, this is... an absolutely fun, super relaxed time. The soundtrack I absolutely adored. The characters, even the ones I was just like, I don't like you and I kind of don't want to give you your mail, but I'm going to be nice and still give you your mail. But I had a lot of fun with this game, Amy. It lived up to the hype You put it at for me.
I'm good at setting expectations, as it turns out.
You're all right at it. You're all right at it.
I fucking love.
So where do you want to start here, Amy?
I don't know. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the story? You're the host. I wasn't prepared for this. Would you like to start with how cool?
This is your most anticipated game. That's why I'm asking you the question, where would you like to start with this? Because you know more about this game than I do. I played it. Yeah, I played it. I completed it before you. I was very surprised with that. And don't use the excuse, I have a life, I got a job. Did it on me. I expected you to play it and complete it within like 4 hours of unlocking.
It's not a 4-hour long game for starters. It's longer than bloody 4 hours. I was enchanted with this game, which I already was because I played the first hour at E3 this year. So I already knew going in. I was like, I'm gonna love this game, and I did. Like my level of enjoyment was just like steady all the way across. So like when I sat down to play it, I replayed the bit I'd already played, because it was literally just the first hour, and then I just kept going, and I was like, the game never let me down, ever, no matter what. I was just like, every character interaction, that's basically all you do in the game. Every character interaction was just great. I loved it. I loved talking to all the people, not doing work for Steve. Just leave me alone. I'm on holiday. Chilling out in PO. Meeting new people. Smooching with the video store owner. Which I fucking called.
Hey, we did the same thing.
I called it. When I played the demo and they first interacted, I was like, oh, they're going to kiss.
They're going to do things. They're going to kiss. And I'm going to allow it.
And then like, when they showed the final trailer and they released like the store description thing, and it was like, oh, you might be able to romance people. And I was like, they're going to kiss.
He was like, I'm vibing with this already. Yes. I'm completely ditto on all of the things you just said there. Like, say, it is a super charming, light-hearted game that isn't heavy or anything like that. There's like undertones of like certain elements of just like, she's grown distance from old friends of hers from just because of what's happened in her life and everything. New people, how is she? She's very wooden to the part of like she doesn't know how to come across and everything. She's very unconfident in herself. I think it's a fair thing to say. And you obviously can allow to express that.
You're going to say,
oh yeah, they give you that option. That's the great thing about it. You can literally be a stern bitch and say, no, thank you. Yeah. That's as far as the stern bitchiness comes with. It's like, no, I'm all right.
My Meredith was just quite sarcastic.
Yeah. She's a delightful character, and like I say, I really enjoyed pretty much all the characters in this game. They're so delightful. Even like, I can't remember her name. The old lady with all the cats. First time I met her, I was thinking, you're gonna annoy the crap out of me, and I don't want to give you mail. And then by the second time, I was thinking, God damn it, I kind of like you now.
And then by the end, you're like, no, I'll look after your cats. It's fine.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's what I was like. I was thinking, all right, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll do anything for anyone. Like the two romance options, Angie and Robert, and like I didn't dislike Robert. I enjoyed hanging out with him.
Robert was awesome. There's no doubt about it. He was just he's like when my character went out for a drink with him, I was literally like, I'm going out just with a friendly and I'm having a good time and I'm having a drink.
Despite what you say, Maureen. Get off my back, Maureen. To be fair though, that joke, it's quite so like there's nothing bad happens in the game, right? Like you talk about some stuff, like a character died a long time ago, like someone's uncle. And someone's husband like died a long time ago, and you talk about that, and then there's other stuff that you talk about, but like nothing really bad happens. But it's a cool portrayal of like 1980s America, like the northern part of America. In that,
the roads were completely empty, unlike today.
The town was completely empty. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to live there and deliver mail. It's exactly the speed I'm looking for in life. But yeah, it did like there was a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of cool themes about like, Meredith is more or less having a midlife crisis. at the point where she's at. You know, she's at a very successful tech company that's about to pop off and make a shit ton of money, and then she's coming back to Providence Oaks, and like you can play it as being like just a thing where she's like she comes back and she's just doing it like, to do a favor for her dad, and you know she doesn't really like it very much. Or you can play it as someone who's genuinely like, I don't know what to do with my life. Or you can play it as someone who's just like, I'm glad I got the fuck out of there. That's what's cool about Lake. It is in a difference to like a lot of choice-based narrative games, you know, where you get like dialogue options. You really are in charge of how the character you're playing is, and how she reacts to everything in a way that I don't think you are in a lot of choice-based narrative games. Like you get to decide where Meredith's head's at right from the very beginning, and if you decide that she's changing her perspective, you can do that too. In all the dialogue options, you get to decide with no obstacles put in your way how the stories will unfold. In terms of like reconnecting with a friend, in terms of who you romance, in terms of like I never had to have an awkward conversation with Robert where he was like, "Hey baby, you know, like want to go around back, you know, of my cool house because I'm a lumberjack and live in the woods," and you have to go, "No, you just sit there and hang out, and you just choose the dialogue options where you're just like chatting and being friends and stuff, and that's awesome. Like there's no pressure. Like I hate games. Like I don't hate games. I have an issue with games that have like multiple endings or like storylines or characters or quests will have multiple endings, because I'm always like stressing about like, am I picking the right thing? If I pick this, am I going to get the outcome that I desire? And playing through Lake, it was very upfront, where it was just like, I will always get the outcomes that I desire, because the game is set up to allow that. And in this kind of story, it works really well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Do you think Steve is Steve Jobs? How does that apply?
I mean, yeah, add it. Yeah. I really didn't like him.
I didn't mind. Like, so obviously, I'm guessing going off from your tone when it comes to Steve, you didn't do any of the things he asked.
I did one thing.
Yeah, I did all of them. I'll say that. I did all of them, and by the end of it, you're just like, damn, you're not bad. You're not bad, but still, I want to do this type of thing. You know,
but still,
I want to do this. I've got another idea.
I've got a better idea for where I'm going next.
yeah, and everything. Yeah, but no, it's like it's a simple story to the part of like for their story. I won't spoil it fully on it. I don't think it's fair to. Yeah, but I think Lake is a delightful game that deserves all the attention that anyone wants to give this game, because I think it is really delightful. I think for me, like, why I connected with this game is that I'm not going through a midlife crisis, but I've gone through a crisis on the part of like if you've watched the podcast long enough, you know I changed careers. I quit my job in hospitality and I went to college. I'm going to college to go back to learn how to develop in video games. And my dream is to become a QA tester one day. And that is what I want to do. That is a incredibly scary element to do in life. It's still scary to this day for me. I'm just like, have I done? Yes, I'm super proud of the 2 amazingly high grades that I've got, and I worked my ass off for, especially this year. This year, as you know yourself from what's happened with me, like this year has been incredibly difficult for me. So like when I finally got that grade, I was thinking of like I broke down a little bit. I won't lie, in tears towards that. So like changing jobs and going in different careers is a very scary thing. So I think that's why I related to Meredith a little bit on this game. Like she's wondering, what does she want to do? Like she realizes that she's really enjoying what you can't depend on the character how you want to play it. You can literally have her to the, I'm really enjoying doing the mail. I'm really enjoying speaking to all these different and unique people. I'm really enjoying talking to the VHS lady who I'm thinking, damn, you a cutie. I want you to date type of thing. Or with Robert. Robert is a great guy as well. He's kind of like Garrus, basically. He's like, you're a great guy. You're a great guy to hang out with. I think you're awesome. I'll have a beer with that steak. Thank you very much, type of thing. And it's really, really well done. I love the reconnection with her old town friend I can't remember her name. Kate, thank you. She's like really, really awesome. And I think because Meredith comes back, I think she helps her come out of her box a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Realizing, thinking, Meredith's done all these things. She's doing the weird things at this company and everything, but she's took a swing to come back and she's really enjoying what she's doing. Now, can I do something like this? Can I change things up? Can I, after marrying, having brilliant kids that she loves and everything, but can I change things up a little bit? And to see the development with that, I thought was really, 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 really good, especially because Meredith helps with that, and I think that's really good.
It's very true to life in that regard. Like, it's happened it's like in the past few years, it's happened to me, and it's happened to me, and I have caused it to happen to other people, where it's just like you make a drastic change in your life, and like it causes that sort of chain reaction of people to just be like, well, actually, what am I doing? Like, where am I at with my life? Like, when wow, let's get really personal on this review, shall we? Like, when I started going to counseling for the first time, like, another one of my friends started going to counseling not long after it, because in their own words, you know, me having the courage to go and do that prompted them to find the courage to go and do that as well. And it's the same thing in Lake, where it's just like, you know, like you mentioned, Meredith and Kay, it's the biggest example of this in the entire game, where it's just like, you know, she had the courage to do stuff. So then Kay, she brings that back out of Kay. Like, Kay is a very different, you have very different interactions with Kay when you first come back to town as like you do like throughout the game, obviously depending on the choices that you make, because you don't have to have those, but if you do, you know, they're very different, and by the end of the game, like, the interactions are completely different, and it's just really natural. Like, the writing is really, really, really solid in that regard of like, these feel like real people who, like, if you went back to Providence, if you like had left Providence Ox and you had gone back to Providence Ox to do the mail and under the similar circumstances, these are all people you would meet, and it would all be quite true to life in terms of how they all interact with each other.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect description for what you just said there. Yeah, it's really well done for the real world, the realism to the words. It's just for like how you are in your life and everything, and that's really, really well done for that. Definitely. So I champion that for the developers and thank them for that.
One thing I want to say before we move on to talk about like the other aspects of the game, which won't take very long, is it was also a very well done, very subtle. Like, in one, if you do one aspect, which both Moody and myself done, it's a very well done 90s queer story, like queer relationship story, where it's just like there are two eligible people to date. One is Angie, and one is Robert. And Robert is the traditional. He's a fucking lumberjack from the forest with a beard, right? And then there's Angie, and there are characters in this game who will push you towards, you know, hey, you're single, Robert's single. Hey, you two should definitely get it together. And it's just like, no, I have no interest in that. I'm dating the cool dorky the cool dorky video star owner, and that's just never mentioned by anybody in town. It's like you know what I mean? And it's, even though like gay marriage was starting to be legalized in the United States in the 90s, like even earlier than the 90s, and it was sort of accepted in the northern states like Oregon, it still was that thing that nobody really talked about. So it is actually quite a well done LGBT story, in the fact that it's not really pressed on very much, but then it wouldn't be, because of the setting and the time frame. Because I just realized I said 90s. It's set in the 80s.
Yeah, it's not shoved in your face, which I think what makes it even better.
Yeah,
because they should just should make it organic, and they made it organic. They give you two really good options. I'll say that right now. Both Angie and Robert are brilliant options. I connected with Angie just because I love movies in myself. Like, that's it. That's basically, I was just saying. And then some of the flats, I have to go. The video store I thought was brilliant. The video store was brilliant. Seeing the pictures and like the renames of certain films, I was just like,
yeah.
Where was Alien? I have to say, where the hell was Alien, guys? Come on.
But
the one film. 1980. Okay, I can understand Alien's not in because that would have been still in cinemas, but Alien. you had Back to the Future, you had Jaws, you had The Fly, you had all of this.
Fly
It's a
was the
0
one
out of
that got
10.
me
We're
where I
done.
was
Bye.
like, The Fly? All right. That's a weird one. No, but what I mean by that, yeah, you're right. It's not pushed out like in your face, whereas the heteronormative relationship is, and that's what makes it cool, because that's true to the 1980s in America. And that's what I thought was really neat about it. I mean, personally, would I have enjoyed like more of an emphasis on that? Yeah, but I like the story, and I like the story in terms of the way it was in the world, because it was accurate at that time. It was accurate at that time in that place.
Yeah. I think they did a great job on the romance. Did a great job on the character.
There are millions of gay women from the 1980s who probably in that exact situation where they had their older freaking the older people being like, "Oh, you're still single? You should date this guy." Well,
yeah,
and it's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's understandable. Yeah, we've been praising this game and everything like that. Is there anything that didn't work for you? May I ask?
Was a little bit glitchy. Just a little bit glitchy.
Just a little bit. Okay, I have to be frank. On my side, it was very glitchy. Like, I sent you a picture. I was like, wait, why is that guy looking at my crotch? Why is he sunk into sunk through the floor? I was like, oh god, that does not look right. But no. Yes, there were parts that it was very glitchy. There's no doubt about that on it, which is it is a shame. There's no doubt, because it kind of did suck me out a little bit to that point. But there was some bonkers crazy ones that just made me go, that's kind of really funny. So I'm like, I'm laughing right now. I shouldn't be, but I'm laughing because it wasn't breaking. And go on.
No, you're talking.
There was nothing like really game breaking. Or anything like that. Like, there was some really funny parts. Like I was speaking to the other mailman. I can't remember his name.
Frank.
Yeah, Frank. I spoke to him, and because of how the camera angle was and how I parked the van, you could still see me in the van while standing next to Frank, talking to Frank.
The end. Yeah.
Yeah,
it happened to me as well. I was like, that's weird.
She learned Shadow Clone Jutsu. I knew it existed.
Yeah, no, that happened to me at the end as well. No, I had one bug where I had to, I lost, because, you do deliver the mail, but there's, certain times where you can do, quests for people. And there was one where it bugged out, and I didn't have the quest marker. I'm using air quotes because it's not really, it's just a thing that you do. You're just still delivering something. It's not like you're doing something different. But I had to restart the game and load back in so that it would basically bring up the quest marker again. But apart from that, there are some frame rate stutters when I was driving around the town, specifically, because there's you basically, it's a circle around a big lake, and there's houses and stuff everywhere, but there's a main street, bit. And when I was driving around Main Street, I don't know, it might just be because of how many assets there were loaded into the world at once. It was a bit stuttery sometimes when I was driving around there. And if you ever pay attention to don't pay attention to the other cars and what they're doing, especially when they're driving around corners, because you just kind of look and go, what the fuck?
Yeah, some of the undercover drivers can drive very well.
Yeah, but it was,
and some just pulled out on me when I had right away. I was like, wait, I have right away, dude.
But no, it's it was cool. It didn't detract me from the experience. The bit where I had to quit out and reload my game was a little bit annoying, but it was 3 minutes of my time plus 30 seconds on Twitter going, oh, okay, the dev already knows about this. Cool.
Yeah. The load times were a little bit of an issue. At the beginning, just to load back in, after obviously I went back to finish it and everything, I was just like, why is it taking so long to load? Is there something wrong with your Xbox? Are you dying? It might be that, but
I mean, to be fair, we're both on Xbox Ones, so
yeah,
it might just be time, Moody, to just feel to just accept the fact that maybe Xbox Ones aren't going to cut it as much anymore.
Are you saying we might have to upgrade?
I'm saying we might have to. You've already upgraded.
Xbox, if you want to send us some?
I mean, yeah, send me one. You've basically got an Xbox. You can just use your PC. It's basically a Series X. We can. There's an Xbox app. Stop most of the Xbox games are playing anyway. We'll talk about it. It's fine. We don't want to talk about this now. But anyway, yeah. In terms of the gameplay, because I want to talk about this specifically. This isn't a thing I hated so much as this is a thing I hated other people talking about and the way they've been framing it. Because I've seen a lot of Lake discussions. Well, actually, I haven't seen very many, but the ones that I have, some of them have really annoyed me. Where it's just like, I enjoyed driving around, listening to the radio, delivering mail. And I've seen so many people be like, whoa, well, if you can get past the tedious delivering of mail, like, tedious? Tedious. As opposed to what? Like, as opposed to what? As opposed to running around in a fucking open world video game doing the same thing 100,000 times? As opposed to that? Like, you could drive around this cool fucking lake town and it wasn't that long a game, so it never had a chance to be, like, repetitively tedious. For me, personally. It's like, it bothered me, the amount of people who were calling that tedious. I know we don't usually bring other people's reviews into these reviews, because these are our reviews, but I wanted to just say, like, it's not tedious, it's kind of relaxing. For me,
I disagree with those reviews, there's no doubt about that. But if they don't like it, they don't like it. That's their opinion. I don't mind that.
So I just feel like tedious. Like, you know what I find tedious? Stabbing the same 6 character models 50,000 times over the course of 60 hours. That's what I find tedious. Delivering a few packages every day. Fuck no. At least you got different houses. Meet new people. Rant over.
Rant is over. Final thoughts, Amy, of Lake.
Yeah, it's everything I wanted it to be, and more. Like they were like some of the places it went in terms of its character interactions. The story surprised me, which is good because I thought I had a handle on the game after having played it for an hour, and I did for the most part. But it had a lot more going on with it than I thought it was gonna, and I really liked that. I liked all of the characters. I loved. Essentially, it's just a bunch of short stories, like that you experience throughout the 2 weeks that you're in Providence Ox as Meredith, and then you get to pick your ending, and it doesn't matter what you've done, more or less doesn't matter what you've done beforehand. You just go, okay, and I'm going to decide what I want to do with my life as Meredith, or Meredith's going to do with her life. And I was not disappointed. Like I had that melancholy feeling when I finished it earlier today, where I was just like, oh, it's over now. Damn. You should play it. You should play it. If you like cool games, you should play this.
Yes, if you like cool games, ladies and gentlemen, play it indeed. It is a great game. It lived up to the hype what Amy built it up for me, and I had a lot of fun with it. Characters are amazing. Meredith is such an endearing character, depending on how you want to play her.
Play her in a few different ways, and
yeah,
perfect.
Which is really, really good. It's like it really just gives you the choice, and that's what you want to see in games and everything. So I'll just say for me and from both me and Amy, thank you very much to the developers. They made a really, really great game.
Thank you.
But seriously, why wasn't Alien in that video?
Shut up about Alien.
Well, that is it for the review of Lake. Let us know what you think of the game, everyone. Did you like it? Are you in the middle? Or did it not go pew, pew, pew enough for you? Leave a comment down below, as it's time for us to get out of here and go and play some more games for us to eventually review them. Because we are the Fashionably Late Reviews. And we are out of here. Say bye, Amy.
Bye.